Today we're making a stir-fry Asian noodle. We're going to do this economically because this is part of our Vegan on a Budget series, baby. Welcome back to another episode of Plant-Based Ads. I'm Joey. If you saw my last video, you know that Asian is kind of the one food I don't cook at home. I just find it very intimidating and it never really comes out the way it does at the store. Well, I got a recipe here from one of my family members and it's absolutely delicious. So we're gonna get started with this. Here's what we got. We've got some Asian blend vegetables. These are frozen vegetables from the 99-cent store. And it's got like green beans and broccoli and mushrooms and carrots and peppers and a bunch of other stuff I don't like when they're raw, right? We've got some maple syrup. We've got some sriracha that I got from the 99-cent store the last time we did a Vegan on a Budget series. So I've still got that, right? We're going to use some vegetable broth. You don't need to use this. I have this broth in the refrigerator. I used it for something else and it's been there for like 5 days and I'm desperate to use it up before it goes bad. So I'm going to use it for this, but you don't need to, just use water. And then we've got some tamari. Tamari starts at like $2.37, right? You can't get tamari for, I can't find it any cheaper than that. Guess how much just regular soy sauce is? Don't get me started, all right? And then we've got some ginger that I got at Sprouts. I got just an inch of ginger. I mean, it was really, really cheap. And I still have some garlic left over from the last video I did with the Vegan on a Budget. So that garlic is still left over from the 99-cent store. So I'm gonna use that. Again, I'm kind of desperate to get rid of it because it's probably gonna go bad, all right? Vegan on a Budget, Asian noodle stir fry. Let's get started. I've got this induction cooktop so I don't have to be cornered over by the wall and move the camera over there. So I'm gonna start with this and put it on high and get it started. And while we're doing that, I'll go over what we have for you. The garlic, this is 4 garlic cloves. And it's all been chopped up with the chopper. I don't hand chop with a knife. That's a lot of work, right? I've got a Pampered Chef chopper, bam, 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 and I just chop it all up, okay? The same thing with the ginger. This is an inch of ginger, all right? And again, chopped up in the chopper. And we're gonna let this pan get hot and then we're just gonna dump that all in. All right, so it looks like the pan's heating up here. I'm just gonna throw a little bit of broth in there, see if it sizzles. All right, so I'm gonna start with my my garlic and my ginger here. So let me get that going. And I'm just gonna kind of cook this a little bit, let it get stir-fried. All right, so I've got that stir-frying here. Let's give that a moment. You can see that it's starting to turn brown there, right? It's looking pretty good. Let me give this a little bit more broth. All right, keep that going. And let's add my frozen vegetables. Now you could totally do this with fresh vegetables. Here, the goal is just to show you that you can do this on a budget and make this happen and still eat whole food plant-based. All right, so while our vegetables are stir-frying here, I'm gonna put in some of the liquids and get them all mixed up here, okay? Now, the tamari is 2 tablespoons. If you're not eating gluten-free, you can absolutely use soy sauce. You know, soy sauce at the dollar store, of course, we talked about it, is 99 cents. I want it to be a gluten-free recipe, so I'm gonna use tamari. And then I'm gonna have 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. You can use brown sugar here. And guess how much brown sugar is at the 99-cent store? Right, I want it to be a whole food plant-based recipe, so I'm gonna put in 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, all right? So I'm gonna put a half a tablespoon of sriracha in here. But I feel like you really need the sriracha in this recipe. It really takes it to the next level. So I'm just gonna use my baby whisk here and mix this together so when it's time I can just dump them all in at the same time. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep stir-frying my veggies here. You can see that the frozen veggies have released a bunch of water, so we want that to kind of disappear, all right? Why don't you guys go ahead and hit the like button if you like videos like this so we know to keep making more of these, okay? All right, so we're gonna take our mixture of our sauces and throw them in right here, all right? So we'll just give this a minute or 2 and then we're gonna start with the noodles. For the noodles, I put a pot on the burner, I brought it to a boil, I added some salt to the boiling water, then I threw in the bag of noodles and cooked it to the manufacturer's specifications. This time it was 12 minutes. I made sure it was al dente. I put them in an ice bath to stop the cooking process, and they're ready to go, all right? So I think I'm gonna take some of these noodles now and throw them right in here. Now the noodles are fully cooked, so we're just kind of wanting to get them wet and colored with the soy sauce, sriracha, maple syrup combination, and then really that's it, they'll be ready to eat. All right guys, look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. You can see the noodles are cooked, you can see the vegetables are ready to go. I think it's time to plate this up and let's see how it tastes. And I'll tell you the story about how much all this cost. All right guys, let's dig in and see how this tastes. It smells really good. So good. The sauce on this is really nice. It definitely has the traditional Asian feel. The sriracha, I think it's right on. So I think the half a tablespoon is probably good if you're not a spice lover. You know what this goes really good with? Berkey water. All right, so let's see what this all came out. So I'm gonna switch to my reading glasses here, all right? So the garlic from this recipe, I had from the last Vegan on a Budget video where I did what did I make? The Southwest salad from the dollar store trip. So that was left over, so I just used that. The ginger, I got at Sprouts, and it came out to like 50 cents worth of ginger. I just bought an inch of it, that was it. The stir-fry veggies were from the 99-cent store, so I put $1 for those. The tamari, $2.37 at Kroger. And again, if you're not doing, if you're not worried about gluten, which you should be, but if you're not, then you can get soy sauce at the 99-cent store for 99 cents, all right? Maple syrup is just expensive. You could use brown sugar in this recipe. Brown sugar was 99 cents at the 99-cent store. It was pretty cheap. I chose to use maple syrup because maple syrup's a whole food. But really, I'm gonna price this with the brown sugar because that's what really most people will use for this. And then the sriracha I bought on the last 99-cent trip for the other video, the other Vegan on a Budget video, so that was free. The noodles were $2.19, of course, and that's the price I'm gonna use. Of course, if you didn't need gluten-free noodles, you could get 99-cent noodles. But if I figure $2.19 for the noodles, it comes out to $7.05 for all of this right here, right? Then I got about 3 meals out of this, right? There's still enough to make 2 more plates of this. So if I divide that by 3, per portion, about $2.35. That's gluten-free, right? I don't know that you can really beat that. That's a pretty good deal. All right, so I finally broke the curse. I made an Asian meal and it tastes fantastic. Please hit the like button if you like this video. What's not to like? Please hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed to us. Click on the little red bar that says subscribe, and then there'll be a little bell that shows up. Click on that bell and these little lines will form around it. That tells you that you will be notified every time we have a new video, which should be every Friday. And please leave a comment on this video. What's your favorite Asian food? Tell me what you guys do on Asian night. I'd love to hear about it. Maybe we'll make some of them. All right, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Did you see What's with Wheat? Did you see What's with Wheat? Boy, why would they name that movie that? I mean, that's just so stupid. You can't even say it. Did you see What's with Wheat?